Representative Sara Jacobs didn't hold back, confronting Marco Rubio over a shocking potential conflict of interest. While Sudan faces famine and genocide, the Trump family is personally profiting from deals with the United Arab Emirates, the very same government buying billions in U.S. weapons. Jacobs demanded answers, exposing the tension between foreign policy, human rights, and private gain. This isn't just politics, it's about accountability at the highest level.
Jacobs.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Secretary, I want to turn to the war in Sudan. This is, as you know, the world's largest displacement and humanitarian crisis. 500,000 people are facing famine. I saw firsthand the suffering when I visited Sudanese refugees in Chad. Earlier this year, and again yesterday, you reiterated that the Rapid Support Forces, a militia, is committing a genocide in Sudan. Is that correct?
We're very concerned about what both sides are doing, frankly, but the RSF in particular.
Correct. I agree with that. You also said as part of that, that all of our engagement with the UAE, we need to raise the fact that they are openly supporting an entity that is carrying out a genocide. And yet, President Trump continues to arm the UAE. In fact, he just blew through Ranking Member Meek's congressional hold on over $1 billion in arms sales, ignoring this committee's longstanding role as an independent check on major arms sales. And we can have a policy debate here about the merits of continuing to arm the UAE or not, despite this genocide. I had that same conversation with Secretary Blinken. But actually, I want to talk about the events that led up to that decision. So on April 30th, the Trump Organization, which Donald Trump still owns, unveiled plans to build an 80-story Trump Tower in Dubai. Then on May 1st, Trump's crypto company, World Liberty Financial, secured a $2 billion deal with an Emirati company with deep ties to the government. And only 11 days later, on May 12th, your department notified our committee that it would ignore Ranking Member Meek's holds on UAE arms sales. Secretary Rubio, we have a president who is personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government-backed company at the same time he is selling lethal weapons to that same government. Isn't that a clear conflict of interest?
I think no matter who was president, they would have to deal with the UAE. We have to. They're a member.
That's not my question. We can have a policy debate about how we should engage with the UAE.
You're making claims about corruption, and I'm answering that any president in the United States, I don't care who the president is, would have to deal with the UAE. They're a member of the Abraham Accords, number one. They've been incredibly cooperative on a bunch of other issues. We don't agree with them on 100%. We have concerns about some of the things they do, but this is called the balancing of foreign policy.
Secretary
it is
Rubio,
in our national interest to have a good relationship with the UAE, despite the fact that there are things we do we don't like.
Secretary Rubio, I don't disagree with you. I just visited the UAE a couple weeks ago and had these very same conversations there, but I don't think this is a complicated question. President Trump is personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government while selling weapons to that same government who is enabling a genocide. Policy aside, are you really saying you don't think this is a conflict of interest?
No, you're making claims. The president's family owns a business, and they can conduct business anywhere in the world they want. The president's never once raised business deals in UAE when talking about it. Any president would have to have a relationship with the UAE.
Secretary Rubio, that's just silly.
The previous administration had one too.
President Trump has retained his ownership of these companies, and I have an image right here from World Liberty Financial's website. So the idea that President Trump is not the face of the brand of this company on top from benefiting from them, and it literally says on the website that Mr. Trump and his family members own a 60% stake in this company, that's silly. So we can talk about the policy merits. That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you a very simple question. Do you believe it's a conflict of interest to have a president personally profiting from a deal with a foreign government while selling weapons to that same government who's enabling a genocide?
I don't accept the premise of your question. I think this has nothing to do with personally benefiting from anything. This has to do with the fact that in order to conduct foreign policy in the Middle East, you're going to have to deal with the UAE.
Mr. Secretary, this is a clear conflict of interest, and anyone with any common sense can see that. The president is personally benefiting from billions of dollars of deals, and he doesn't care at all about the people of Sudan who are experiencing famine and genocide. It's shocking to me that you can't admit that. It's clear that you seem more concerned about staying in Trump's good graces than sticking up for human rights and American values that you once were a champion for. With that, I'm going to yield the remainder of my time to Representative Olszewski.
Well, you make these claims about staying in good graces. You accuse people of being
reclaiming my time, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I appreciate a softball for you, yes or no, since I don't have a lot of time, and I appreciate it. The chairman gives me a few seconds back. Softball for you. Would you, yes or no, as Secretary, find it outrageous for you to solicit or accept a $200,000 Rolls Royce from a foreign government for personal or State Department use?
That offer's never been made to me.
Yes, so you would reject that offer?
The offer of a Rolls Royce?
Yes.
I don't understand the purpose of that question. That's a silly question.
The fact that you can't answer the question,
I just answered it. I said it's silly.
Silly because you would accept it or not?
Of course not. Who would accept it? But
Well,
no one's
then I think you should maybe perhaps, Mr. Secretary, reclaim my time. I think you are an honorable man by most accounts, but the man that you work for doesn't. And the fact that he is soliciting and accepting a $400 million plane is problematic. And you should know about it. It came up in a Senate hearing. You should read about it, add it to your reading, because it is problematic for foreign policy. It adds to the corruption that my colleague just said. And I hope you speak out against it. Thank you.
In a tense and revealing exchange, Representative Sara Jacobs confronted Secretary Marco Rubio about a situation that goes straight to the heart of ethics, accountability, and American values. She laid out a scenario that should make any citizen pause. The U.S. government is selling billions of dollars worth of weapons to the United Arab Emirates, a government linked to actions that have been described as enabling famine and genocide in Sudan. At the same time, the Trump family continues to profit from business deals in the same country, including plans for a massive Trump Tower in Dubai and a $2 billion crypto investment. Jacobs didn't mince words. She pressed Rubio to acknowledge the obvious. Can any reasonable person see this as anything other than a conflict of interest? Rubio repeatedly tried to steer the conversation toward policy, saying that any president would have to engage with the UAE and framing it as a matter of balancing foreign relations. But Jacobs kept the focus on ethics and human consequences, highlighting the human suffering in Sudan while the U.S. continues arms sales that enrich the president's private interests. What's crucial for viewers to understand is the distinction Jacobs is drawing between policy and personal profit. Engaging with the UAE for strategic reasons is one thing, but turning a blind eye to the president personally benefiting from these deals while humanitarian crises unfold crosses into ethical danger. Jacobs also underscored the historical role of congressional oversight. When lawmakers' holds are ignored and transparency is sidelined, it diminishes trust in government institutions. Throughout the exchange, Rubio's responses highlight a recurring tension in American politics: the balance between defending national interests, navigating foreign relations, and upholding the values that citizens expect from their leaders. Jacobs challenged him to address the human impact, not just the policy framework, reminding viewers that decisions made in Washington have real-world consequences. By framing the question around conflict of interest and personal gain, Jacobs humanized an otherwise abstract debate, connecting foreign policy to ethical accountability and public trust. This hearing also sheds light on the importance of active, engaged oversight. It's a reminder that Congress's role isn't simply procedural. It's to ensure that executive power isn't used for private gain, that foreign policy decisions align with both national interests and moral responsibility, and that ordinary people are protected from the fallout of decisions made in corridors of power far from their daily lives. For viewers, the takeaway is clear. Understanding the mechanics of foreign policy isn't just about geopolitics. It's about the intersection of power, money, and human rights. Jacobs' persistent questioning demonstrates how elected officials can hold leaders accountable, shine a light on potential abuses, and connect policy decisions to tangible outcomes. This is a masterclass in legislative oversight in action, illustrating how courage, preparation, and persistence are necessary to uphold democracy and ethical governance. For more coverage breaking down these high-stakes hearings, subscribe to Left Lens. We dig deeper than headlines, providing context and insights so viewers can understand not just what happens, but why it matters, and how it affects them and the world around them. For viewers, the takeaway is clear. Understanding the mechanics of foreign policy isn't just about geopolitics. It's about the intersection of power, money, and human rights. Jacobs' persistent questioning demonstrates how elected officials can hold leaders accountable, shine a light on potential abuses, and connect policy decisions to tangible outcomes. This is a masterclass in legislative oversight in action, illustrating how courage, preparation, and persistence are necessary to uphold democracy and ethical governance. For more coverage breaking down these high-stakes hearings, subscribe to Left Lens. We dig deeper than headlines, providing context and insights so viewers can understand not just what happens, but why it matters, and how it affects them and the world around them.